Hello my lovelies, Robbie here from Kickback Garage. Today in this video we are going to be carrying on with the TV 175 Series 2 restoration. I am going to tell you what I've done up to now, and I'm going to complain about the help or lack of help I have got from Hans later in the video if you missed that. But today we're going to concentrate on overhauling the front hub, and this is actually a request video. So if you're interested in front hub blood overhaul, then grab yourself a cup of coffee. I'll see you after the intro. Right, so here we have the front hub that needs a proper overhaul. I'm just putting on my rubbery gloves here. It could be dirty, lad. And I used ages just trying to clean up my bench. One thing about, I really enjoy doing stuff for other people. One thing I don't enjoy that much is having someone else's shit absolutely all over my garage. I'll try and keep it sort of quite clean, but there you go. I got bits, engines, parts, all this crap on my benches is not my own. I can live in my own shit, but not other people's. Right, let's crack on. Without further ado. So I'm going to overhaul this front hub. This is a TV 175, so it is completely different. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people know this. If you haven't owned a TV 175, then this is going to look a little bit odd, but there are some differences between this and a standard hub. The main difference being a standard hub uses an open-ended axle like this, where you have two half nuts and washers on each side of the axle to keep it centered into the hub. So before you take your hub apart, do yourself a big favor and measure the amount of axle that's sticking out on the sides, because once you've undone one of the screws, and if you're going to replace the axle or you're going to overhaul it, it just saves you a lot of faffing around than trying to screw these up and down trying to get the correct measurement. So measure it before you take it apart, and it'll save you a little bit of hassle later in the game. So what I was going to say was the difference between this and standard hub is that this is actually, it uses the disc brake backplate. I'll show you what I mean here. It's really dirty, so it needs a good clean up. This is just like crap. I'm not going to do a hands and scrape it on my floor. I'm going to take it outside and scrape it outside. Yeah, so this is the hub arrangement on the TV 175, and as you can see, for the keen-eyed, it has your central axle as normal, but it also has this holding lug, which is a threaded bar. The nice thing about this is it means that if you have a TV 175, you don't have to run around and try and find an upgraded backplate, because these use both disc links, not drum links, but disc links. And on the disc link, they have a hook for this part. You screw a bolt on there. And you have the normal place where you screw on the nut here as well. And it also uses a different axle because of this arrangement. It uses this disc axle. Now I'm not sure if this fits because it doesn't say this is a BGM one, the same as that one there. That's also from BGM. It doesn't actually mention if I'm not 100% sure if the disc axle is the same as the normal disc axle, but I presume so. We'll see that and measure it once we've taken it out. When you're doing a drum overhaul, it's normally a good idea to change out the speedo drive. I've mentioned this before and I got some shit for it, but the original type plastic speedo drives, they can have a tendency to get really worn. But I'm hoping on this one, because I didn't buy one, I'm hoping on this one that it's going to be okay, because I suspect it hasn't had many miles, because it was put away so early in the 60s. But what you do need is the seal. This is the seal that goes around the area where you pump in grease. So stop. Hello? I'm not sure how far I came. My wife came in. She managed to get the hairbrush stuck in her hair, and was having a total meltdown. Even when they're 50 years, they say we're kids. Oh my God! Anyway, let's carry on. Yeah. So what you need for your overhaul is this seal. This seal goes around the speedo drive, because on these, obviously, you've got the. It's very hard to see. There is a grease nipple. And some people, they fill that up that much that it goes over through the seal onto the pads. I have got pads, I think, that fit. I'll see when I get this apart. I also bought, just for fun, because I ordered some stuff from MB Scooters, I ordered the spacer in the middle. I'm not 100% sure if this will fit the disc. What can we call it? A drum disc. Yeah, something like that, because it's sort of a hybrid, isn't it? Obviously, I bought the axles. This one I bought wrongly because I was thinking stupidly, and then I bought this one, which is the one with the flange. New nuts. Obviously, I'm missing a nut. I only get 2 with the kit because, yeah, I've told you about that before. You also need new bearings. It's a very good idea to change bearings, especially in a scooter like this has been stood around, because they have a tendency to seize. You can buy these sealed and just use sealed and don't bother with your grease gun. Yeah, this is the ones that MB sold, and I've got some really, really good, super duper bearing grease, long lasting. I'm going to go there. Wow, listen to that wind. Wow. And obviously 2 seals, 1 in each side. So let's see if we can open this hub up. Now, the challenge I have is, because this axle has got the flange on the one side, there's no nut. So what can happen now is that when I try and loosen this and the top hat that's under there, it might just, the whole axle might just turn. But let's not worry about that until it starts, because what I can do, I can use those 2 half nuts, double nut the axle on the back side, and then loosen this. But I'm going to see which size it is. I presume it's a 19, which it is not. I haven't got that many really big spanners. So I'm going to be using my trusty adjustable. See if I can loosen this. It seems pretty stuck, to be honest, so hopefully. No, yeah, like I thought, the whole axle is just going around. So what I'm going to have to do is double nut the opposite side. And hold it here. Is this one big enough? My little mini-me, is it big enough? Yes, it is, so that's good. So I've double nutted that. Hopefully that means I can hold, if I hold the inside nut there, I should be able to just break free the nut on the opposite side, hopefully. Yeah, and it opened really easy. So that's a good sign. Oh, the half nuts are a little bit manky, and there's loads of like shit and oil and stuff. So I imagine the brake pad's probably completely caked. Completely caked in crap in there, but we'll see when we get it open. Come on, it's a bit stiff. Oh man. Oh Jesus, that was. It's just the threads are fine. It's just that the nut itself is really manky. Because what I thought I'd do once I've split it, I'm going to take the wire brush to the back plate outside, so they don't get loads of shit on my floor. Not that that matters, because some lad called Hans have just been scraping crap on my floor, which is a pet hate of mine. Bless him. And I love the comments about Hans on the last video. It's good. It's good to, I mean, put it this way. There's a reason why the scooter has been stood still for 30 years and not been touched. I'm just going to tap it open, hopefully. It'll push itself through. And we have the top hat here on this side. Needs a good cleaning up. These are actually quite cheap. I have in the past bought them, but I think I'm just going to use the wire brush on that. You can see the seal, and the first thing I notice is the seal is on the wrong way. When you fit a seal to a bearing, so maybe the bearings have been changed on this at some point, the seal always should point towards the area of pressure, which is on the inside. So I find that really odd that that's on the opposite side. It could be as well that that's designed that way so that when you pump in grease, it'll let the grease out through the hub. I'm actually going to have to refer to stickies. Right, so I'm looking at stickies. It just goes to show it doesn't matter how much you think you know. Stickies manual is always good to have handy. It actually says here, the old home workshop manual suggests that you can fit the seals with the spring side facing out so that any excess grease forced in via the grease nipple can escape past the seal. This also offers a potential advantage against excessive jet washing. It has a disadvantage in that the ungreased spring on the seal is exposed to the elements and can rust. Certainly on later machines with no grease nipple and using sealed or semi-sealed bearings, it is pointless to do this. So most people now build these with the spring side of the seal facing in. So now this could be the method that they used at the factory, because this scooter has been not messed around with. But I think because I got this high performance special bearing grease, I think I'm going to fit these facing that way. So it just goes to show it's not a bad idea being observant when you're taking things apart. And if you're unsure, then take pictures as well. That also, and especially, means electronics and stuff like that as well. Just saves you a lot of hassle at the end of the day. So let us put stickies back together. Another interesting thing is, if you want to know what sort of drum you're messing around with, and if it's safe or not, this actually, loads of information here on the, in the pictures, in stickers. And here it also mentions the TV 175 Series 2 drum bike plates are still stud, nut and fixing, but the grease nipple position has been revised. So there is some small differences here between this and the disc brake. Obviously the disc brake has another actuating mechanism as well, but it's quite strange that they used the two stud arrangement. But anyway, let's get this apart. I've got this little rod here. I'm just gonna knock it through. Oh, it fell apart already. Do you think I could just prise that apart? No, obviously not. I'm just going to give it a bit of a tap, I think, just to free the axle. That's the axle freed. So I'm going to try and keep this together for a second. There is the axle. So that's the original axle. Let's have a look at the disc axle I bought from BGM. Same length, shoulder in the same position. Here you can have a look. Same length, shoulder in the same position. Perfect. And this is quite manky. And that also means that I don't have to mess around with a thread file or something to sort out this axle here. It's good to change it. So that's good. So that means I can put that in my parts bin, and I now know that I can use this. Now let's take this apart and see what it looks like inside here. Obviously I have to take off the cam and that, but as I said, I want to get the wire brush on this before I start stripping the back plate. Right, that's apart. Yeah, you can see here the seal has died, and that's a challenging bit with when it comes to filling grease in these. If you overfill them, and the seal goes, you end up with loads of grease on the pads. But the pads here aren't really that too bad. You can see it's an asbestos thing. So I am obviously going to be changing these if I've got the correct pad type, which I don't think I have. I'll have to have a root around in my stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'll leave the back plate for now, put that to one side, and I want to remove the seal and the bearings in here. I think for the seal here, best bet, flat bladed screwdriver, and just see if I can pop it out. It's really, that was quite easy. So that was the seal. On top of the bearing you have this retaining circlip, so don't go trying to knock these out without taking off the circlip, or you'll absolutely knacker your hub. I think one of the more important things that I bought tool-wise in the garage are a proper set with circlip pliers. I say that as it jumps off my circlip plier. These are Knipex. Knipex, they're really good. There we go. So that's that. I'll place that there. I'll try and line these up so I know which way to fit things when I'm putting it back together again. So in theory, I should be able to knock that out. As I suspected, the speedo drive... What? The speedo drive is the metal type, which is good, which is much, much better than the sort of modernish types that are plastic. If you've got the plastic one and you actually want your speedo to work, then I suggest swapping those out, to be honest. I normally do that. I took a chance here, and I also learnt something new, that the metal ones are not something modern. They were fitted to the TV 175 at least, or maybe the series 1s as well, 2s. There is the seal. I can see that the seal is also the opposite way than what we're going to fit it on this side as well. I think we'll fit it what I think is the correct way around, that way, because we're not going to grease it as much as we don't need to grease it as much. You just need to sort of leave it alone, really. Can I get that out? It's going to be quite tricky, I think. Obviously don't want to destroy the sealing surface. There's a little spacer here. I'll put that there on this side, so I know which way it's supposed to go. Try and pop out that seal. Come on, you. Yep, got it. Pop out the seal. Obviously not going to reuse these, you'd kill them when you take them out. And I'm going to pop that on the bench there, so that I know which direction it's supposed to be fitted. So, right, so I need to get these bearings out. The best way to get these out is actually using one of those, what they call puller hammers, where you put it in, screw it tight, and then pull it out from the opposite side. But I've got these out without too much hassle by pressing them out of their respective sides. And that, if I'm lucky, maybe this will go in there. And you've got this spacer tube in the middle. You can actually move that out the way a little bit, like so, like that. And I think, if I'm lucky, with some gentle taps, that should go straight out. Certainly moving, lad. That's moving quite easily, actually. So just try and move that space tube so that I get a bit more of an angle. There. It's shifting really easy, so I was lucky with that one. There we go. So that's the bearing on that side. I'll put that there so I know which way around it's supposed to go back together. This tube, hopefully, I should be able to push out. There's enough grease, that's for sure. And it's not complete coincidence that I've got an old bedsheet on my bench for this job. And what I want to check is, because I fancy changing that, just because I bought one for fun, the MB one, is it the correct size? Yes, it is. So I'll put that there on the back of the bench so that I know which direction all this is supposed to fit. And this side, I can do the same. Here, I've actually got a tool to fit the bearings, which is good. But this rod is doing a good job of taking them out. If you're lucky and they've been over greased, they're moving really, really, really easy. So I changed the side so that I don't jam it in there. And it's going out really easy. Because I'm going to replace these bearings, I'm actually hitting it on the inner ring of the bearing. You should never do that when you're fitting them. Basically, because I don't want to scratch the outside where the bearing sits. It's moving quite easy. There you go. Look at all that grease, man. Right, so that was bearing removed, and I will place that there. And as you can see, that's the way it fits. Seal, ring, bearing, tube, bearing, seal, spacer, top hat. So what I'm going to do now is turn off the camera and try and clean this up as good as I can. It's just completely caked in grease. So I'm going to get the brake cleaner out, clean that up. And on this side, I will remove the brake pads. I'm actually quite interested to see what type of pads these are. If they're just the normal, I imagine so, that they are the normal. And I have to use my shitty tool for these, and it's the wrong way around, Rob. Because what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to clean up all this crap up, and I am going to have to find There you go. I'm going to have to find out if I've got the correct type of pad. Let's see if I can get that up. Oh, come on. Yes. Now I have to see if I've got the correct brake pads. I think the ones that I've got are actually GP type. Yes, it seems they are, because they look like, you can see at the end. Oh, maybe not. That actually looked to be the right size. It's just that I thought this looked a bit fatter at the end. These are SIP pads I've had lying around. I think they're going to fit. Okay, cooking on gas. Time to clean all this shit up, and I'll see you in a bit.